I'll just be like,
Okay.
hey.
Okay, everybody, it goes to the request that was left by Duckfish405 on my comments. She wanted me to go off on quantum physics and a whole bunch of shit, but what she really wanted to know was about phobias. And phobias are the fear of being afraid of things. There are many different types of phobia, such as arachnophobia, being afraid of spiders, claustrophobia, being afraid of, you know, smut type places. There are phobias of being, at heights. There are phobias of being around germs. There's plenty of different types of phobias. So I have phobias of, I have some like superficial ones and some personal ones. One of my phobias is I have arachnophobia. I am deathly afraid of spiders, even like no matter how small they are. I am one of those girls who will jump on a table or run out of a room screaming because there's this tiny little spider, and unless it is dead, I won't come back. I am like terrified of them. I have a phobia of all bugs, just because, especially the ones that fly, because they freak me out. I have been head-butted and bit by a grasshopper, and yes, it is the truth, because it made me bleed, and I saw the tooth marks. I have been chased around by 45 minutes by a cockroach, so I have a phobia of cockroaches. I have a phobia of heights. I am absolutely terrified of heights because I do not like the fact that I can fall to my death knowing that whole time that I'm falling. And there's not really a damn thing I can do about it. So I have a fear of heights. I know plenty of people that have phobias
You have autophobia and monophobia.
What's that?
Fear of being alone.
Yes, that is more of a personal phobia. I have a fear of being alone. I have, since I was 14, jumped from one serious relationship to another because I do not like to be alone. I can't handle it. Not even in a relationship, just around people. I may not be a social person. I may not always want to talk to somebody, but I do not being alone. Just knowing that there is somebody around in case I want to talk to them is good enough for me at times. But I do have a fear of being alone. That is a phobia of mine. I have a phobia of death, but it is not the actual fear of dying. It is the fear of what's going to happen afterwards. But that's also because of like spiritual beliefs and all of that. So those are some of my phobias. I know of people who have phobias of elevators. I know of people who have phobias of feet. I think every phobia stems from some
There's
sort
a phobia
of
beautiful women. What's wrong with people?
Yes.
How do you say it? Calignophobia?
I think that phobias stem from an experience you may or may not have remembered.
A blutophile.
But
fear of bathing.
There are people that have their fear of that. I know people who have fear of shaving because of the razors. I know people who have phobias of eating in restaurants because of how many times people touch plates. I know people with phobia
fear of yellow.
I know people with fear of public bathrooms. They have phobias of that. It freaks them out and sends them into a panic attack because of the germs that can be got there. I mean, so there's plenty of different phobias. I think phobias.
I have crystallophobia. I have fear of crystal. That says right there, fear of crystals. I have a fear of crystals.
So I think that phobias personally stem from some sort of trauma or deep inner-rooted fear that may have come from childhood, even childbirth. Some babies or children have fear of certain things from claustrophobia because of complications during birth.
You had a tiny vagina.
I mean, I think phobias are individual to each person, and I believe that phobias can be handled, with proper, if it's something that is like life-altering, something that, affects your daily life. I think that, phobias can be dealt with. But I think phobias are more of a mental thing. Of course, there is a reason, and it is a chemical reason why your body reacts so strong. Because there's a difference between a fear and a phobia. A phobia is something that can make you have a panic attack. A phobia is something that is so frightening, it's so scary. Now, I have a fear of getting hit by cars. But I don't have a phobia of it. There is agoraphobia, people who are afraid of diseases and germs outside where they stay locked in their house and they never come outside because they are afraid
There's an Invaders Zim episode on that.
germs, and it also comes to they're afraid of car accidents and seeing dead bodies on the side of the road and of getting in car accidents and seeing it. So they won't drive, they don't go outside because to them there's too much gore and chaos outside in the world that they cannot participate in the world. I know there's fear of midgets. There's a phobia of midgets. I have an ex-girlfriend who has a phobia of midgets. She absolutely freaks out and just goes berserk if there's a midget around. So I guess it all depends on like what type of phobia you have. I mean, some phobias I consider stupid, like a phobia of beautiful women. Why would you have a phobia of that? Or a phobia of the color yellow? Once again, I think that comes from some sort of psychological idea or issue that you may not, or you may remember or not remember. But that's my insight on phobias. So that is my answer to duckfish. If you would like anything more detailed, go ahead and comment, and I will feel free to comment back. And thank you for leaving suggestions. I appreciate it. So shout out to duckfish. Thank you.